Center, where we focus on two key concepts. How can we help you with your recovery today, and what does recovery mean to you? Tune in Tuesdays at 10 a.m. to our coffee and conversation meeting, and Thursdays at 1 p.m. to our All Recovery meeting. For updated information, follow our Capital Recovery Center Facebook page.
Welcome to our All Recovery meeting. My name is Karen. I'm one of your recovery coaches.
And welcome again. My name is Craig. I'm also a recovery coach.
And my name is Mr. Williams, and I'm also a recovery coach. Let me share it to y'all.
I hope you guys liked our new intro clip.
Yes.
Brought to you by Mr. Mike.
Right?
Just a reminder for Recovery on Wheels next Wednesday. It'll be out in Vineland at the street parking between Wood and Plum on Northeast Boulevard and Wood.
Wood and Plum. Our favorite, one of our favorite places to do outreach.
Yeah, that is a good spot.
Road will also be out on Monday, same time, 10 to 2 at the Bridgeton Police Department on Fayette Street.
That's oh, that's Monday.
Yeah,
No,
that's Monday.
Tuesday.
Oh, sorry, Tuesday. Monday we are not here.
Tuesday we will be at the police station.
Yes.
Monday was the holiday. With that said, what else you got, Mr. Dingle? Don't forget about our recovery spotlight. Check our recovery spotlight out on our Capital Recovery Center page. Every month we spotlight somebody who has been successful with their recovery walk. This month we spotlighted Mr. Nazay
Jameson.
Jameson.
Yeah, young man who has been, I've been in contact with, and he's been telling me that he's been doing great. I believe he has close to 2 years of sobriety.
Yes.
And he's back with his children, I believe, and doing well. So, congrats, Nazay Jameson.
So we also with Spotlight Recovery, if you see that wherever we spotlight that particular individual, there is a link there if you would like to share your recovery stories with us, and we can spotlight you for some of the coming months that we have going forward with your permission. And we always think that that's a great thing to do, because some individuals, when they see you and see your life have changed from one bad lifestyle to a better lifestyle, sometimes it motivates them to start the process of them changing their lives. So today and a few weeks after this, I want to be talking about, or we're going to be talking about, dimensions of wellness into recovery. Incorporating the 8 dimensions of wellness into your recovery, because I think it's a very important thing that get overlooked. The complete, like my man Mr. Craig always say, the holistic, the overall, the we want to deal with not just the substance. A lot of people get locked on just removing the substance and never work on the complete person. So that's what wellness is mainly talking about, or it's incorporated. So it's like 8 different dimensions. And we're going to do a more deeper study with these here at Capital Recovery Center on the weeks and months going forward, as we start to get past all of the COVID restrictions and things like that. So we're going to talk about some of it today and more later in the coming weeks. So it says wellness is just as vital in the recovery process as abstaining from drugs and alcohol. This might seem like an exaggeration or a hyperbole, but it isn't. Recovery is about breaking free from dangerous behaviors to build a meaningful life without weight or active addiction, without taking the time to maintain your mental and physical health. Recovery can become overwhelming, and it can be all too easy to slip back into old habits. Preserving and protecting your well-being allows you to be the best version of yourself. When you're actively tending to your psychological and physical needs, you feel connected to yourself. That is so true. Closer to others and dedicated to leading a substance-free life. While wellness sounds great on paper, it can be challenging to understand how to actually practice it in your day-to-day life. It is going to be something that you have to start to practice and develop. Is wellness is something that you won't just get overnight. To help make wellness easier to understand and achieve, Samson has outlined 8 key dimensions of wellness. By devoting time to each of these dimensions in your daily life, you can improve your health and well-being and reaffirm your commitment to recovery. Since it's 8 of them, I think I'm gonna look for some lessons for each 8 going forward so we can be taking it apart, because it's not something that you can just jump into and talk about and that's that. You can actually create an exhaustive list of all of these 8 things. And I think it's very important and to get overlooked in the area of recovery. So you want to do the first one, Mr. Daniel or Ms. Karen?
Sure, I'll read it. Emotional. Let's deal with the first one. And it talks about emotional wellness more than feeling happy. In fact, a key part of emotional wellness is accepting that you won't feel content all. You won't feel content all, or maybe even most of the time. By acknowledging your feelings and working through them, you can become more in touch with your inner life and practice emotional wellness. Processing your emotions through writing, talk therapy, or in conversation with people you trust can make this task easier. Emotional wellness can help you manage your stress and build resilience in the face of temptation or setbacks. And I'm so glad that I was able to read this first one, because I was introduced to a concept, and I think it's very profound for me anyway. It talks about emotional incarceration. And what that entails is that a lot of people, especially men, we hold on to, or we lock our feelings inside, or we hide our feelings, and we're afraid to express them. And we all know, well, we should know that if you hold on to something long enough and don't get it out, presented that energy or negatively, right, to someone else, right?
It's not going nowhere, but you might.
Yeah, you're bottling it up inside. Yeah. So it's good. Like if, say, Mike offended me and I felt offended, instead of me just, trying to deal with it on my own, I need to express to Mike, in a manly way and say, hey, Mike, the conversation you and I had, I felt it was a little edgy, and I hope that you and I can get along much better. In that way, it takes off of me, and Mike know how I feel, and then we can deal with one another appropriately. I don't want to,
but that's how you have to deal with your emotional. When you coming off of this thing, coming off of using substances and or alcohol, you coming out of all that. That's what you use to deal with your emotional problems. So when you no longer have your substance to resort to, prayerfully, now you have to learn how to cope with the emotions that you're dealing with. But check this out. Those emotions that we go through in our recovery walk are emotions that everybody in the world goes through.
Absolutely.
They just know how to deal with them better than a lot of individuals who are actively using. So one of the wellness dimensions is the emotional part. That's why it's not a coincidence when they say about relationships when you're in early recovery, because anybody will tell you any relationship that you're in, it's an emotional roller coaster. You have good days, relationships. You have some days you're like, I can't stand them. Then the next day you say, I can't stand not to be around. So it's like you have, they are emotional. So they tell people don't get into long relationships after you trying to walk, and that's the number one reason is the emotional roller coasters that you go through in relationships apart from substances. And that's just one scenario. But for any like mental health things, I would seek out mental health professionals because we're not mental health experts. So I wouldn't even try to explain certain of the things that I dealt with when I had mental health issues or depression issues. I went to a person who was an expert in that area and asked them. The first thing they asked me was, "What you thinking about?" And then I told them, and they said, "Well, that could be depressing." So you got to go get the help you need for that. All right, environmental. It says the environment where you live, work, and relax can have a significant impact on your mood and overall well-being. This is particularly true if you're in recovery. Feel empowered to avoid places or situations where you might be tempted or pressured to use drugs or alcohol, especially if you're already stressed or struggling. Spend time in safe, comfortable spaces as often as you can. Safe, comfortable spaces equals to me my turf. I only allow things or have people come on what I call my turf, my safe, comfortable space. That's it.
Because a lot of environments has a lot of stimuli or stimulants that, can trigger us to respond inappropriately if we don't be able to identify or remove ourselves from those environments.
And you can't neglect your environment. I always talk about, your things you can control and the things you can control. Now, if you're in an environment where you can't control that you have to go to that place, then you have to find different coping skills. But the environment where you can control, like, I don't have to go down that street, I can take the long way around. Sometimes not sometimes. All the time, it is beneficial until you build up enough recovery capital to be able to be strong to go down those places if you have to, like where you can't avoid them. Take the long way around to some of these places and get out of those environments, because if they trigger something in you, then it's not going to be good for the outcome of your recovery walk. So remember, one of the 8 dimensions of wellness is your environment. Number 3.
Number 3 is financials. While it might sound mundane, getting a handle on your finances can relieve a surprising amount of stress from your daily life. Never knowing how much money you have left for food each month or constantly worrying about retirement is emotionally taxing. Take time to understand your current spending habits and monetary needs. Create a budget that cuts down on excess spending and allows you to save for the future. You can even help yourself feel grateful for your sobriety by calculating how much money you're saving every month by not buying drugs or alcohol. Making a safety net for your current and future self can give you comfort and peace of mind.
And that is so true. I know for me, I'm in recovery, and so I know when the holidays come around, it's really stressful because now I'm looking at the money coming in and the money that I'm spending. And I'm like, I'm getting real stressful. But I'm able to manage my emotions. I'm able to manage my finances in a way that I don't resort to say, you know what, I can't deal with all of this. Take my time and I deal with life, accordingly. But yes, that is so true.
Yeah, when you have a handle, sometimes finances can be a trigger in recovery for some. And if you have a problem handling money and it's a trigger, then you have to find somebody that's responsible, that you trust, to deal with your finances until you're able to navigate through that situation. You got to find, we never did budget in the streets. Nobody creates a budget. You ask somebody to budget now. I always tell people, a lot of times people by naturally think that they have to live off the 100% of what they bring home. instead of trying to live off of the 70, save some and do some with the rest, they try to live off of the 100%, and eventually you're gonna be behind, and it's not gonna add up. So a lot of time budgeting is very important, because I remember one time I wrote out all the stuff that I owed, and then the person that was helping me with budgeting, he says, "You already behind. Before you even get paid, you behind." I said, "How I'm behind?" He said, "Yo, you don't even make that much. So you owe out more than you bring in. So you got to learn how to be budgeting your money, and try not to always remember, don't try to live off the 100% that you bring home."
Yeah, that's for all the big willies out there, big time spenders. All right, number 4, intellectual. Whether you realize it or not, you're always on the lookout for new ways to stimulate and engage your brain. But if you seek out this stimulation without care or consideration, you may find yourself participating in passive activities like strolling through social media or watching hours of television. While these activities can be satisfying in the moment, they lack the depth and meaning needed for true intellectual wellness. Instead, cultivate your curiosity by engaging in challenging activities that interest you. Learn how to play the piano. Be like, what's my man who played the piano? Chuck Berry. Not Chuck Berry. What's the white guy? Chuck Berry. All right. Whatever his name is. Learn how to play the piano, violin. Stimulate your mind. That's what I really want to get at. Find new ways that will challenge your intellect. Social media, like the article says, social media is cool. It's all right. But too much of anything can be offensive, can be a detriment to your uplifting. Write a short story, especially those who like to write books. I think Mike might have one in the making, or a short story. Who knows? We never talked about it, but yeah, if you like to write, write. Read a book by your favorite author, or scan your local bookstore for something new. Staying open to new ideas, interests, and wisdom enriches your days and makes life worth living.
Intellectual. You have to challenge yourself. We were just talking about something. It's a mentorship program, and I'm challenging myself, cultivating curiosity by engaging in challenging activities that interest you. Those things like mentorship interest me, so I get into stuff like that. Even though it's not actually around here, I'll challenge myself. You know what I mean? Like, let's see what I can do or whatever. And you got to find things like that. I do that all the time, though. I do it early in the morning, actually. I've been up since like 3 o'clock. Yeah, I've been up since 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock working.
5th one.
Go ahead.
5th one is occupational. Engaging in meaningful work allows you to live out your values. Whether it's a day job, going to school, or volunteering, doing work that you are passionate about can make your life feel more meaningful. Plus, if you do work you love, you'll have another reason to feel excited when you wake up in the morning.
Just talk about that. There it is. If you find employment or a place that you find not exciting, you feel that, this is like a drag getting up in the morning.
Yeah, Monday is your worst day of the week.
Yeah, you might want to consider.
It's Monday, I gotta go.
I gotta get up and
go to the job again. You might want to consider what?
You might want to consider changing careers.
Career change. That's the topic for the night. For the mentor program that I'm on a panel for, and it's talking about career change. Yeah, you gotta realize, when you find work that you love, that is a quote. I don't know who said it, but it says if you find something that you love, you'll never work a day in your life. Yeah, if you find you go to work, do something that you love, it's like you never work a day in your life.
Was Miles Monroe?
It might have been.
And you always tell me, say Dr. Miles Monroe.
I learned so much from him. It might have been him. But occupation is very important. I know sometimes you won't be able to have the say-so in what occupation you do, But if in regards to your recovery, you don't want to, if you're trying to stay away from stuff, you don't want to go work at a liquor store.
Oh,
If you
no.
try, you know what I mean? You don't, your occupation is very important. It's just part of your wellness is where you work. And sometimes you're not going to be able to control, I take this job or I won't take this job. But to some extent, you know what job to apply for. Physical. Your body is the vessel that moves you through the world. It's vital that you treat it with kindness, participating in regular physical activities, getting restful sleep, and eating healthy foods can reduce your risk of illness, boost your mood, and increase your energy level, promoting both emotional and physical wellness. Physical wellness. Physicals is a big important. I mean, you got to do something. My mom's 74 or 5. She be texting me all the time. I'm going out for my walk, and I said, "That's what's up." She be like, I'm out of here. I said, I'm going to walk around the complex for a few laps, and that's just doing something. You ain't got to be a professional athlete to just do something physically instead of just sitting around. Find something to do. It's good for you both emotionally and physically.
Yeah. I'm almost 60. And so, hey, listen, if I can do it, you can do it.
You can do it.
Why not? Number 7, we're going to talk about social. We need other people in our lives. Social support is one of the most fundamental human needs. Let me read that again. Social support is one of the most fundamental human needs. Close friends and family members are there to celebrate the good with you, lament the bad, and help you go through life feeling connected and cared for. Because of this, it's vital that you foster close relationships and make an effort to connect with at least one person you're close to every day. Attending Alcoholics Anonymous, AA, Narcotics Anonymous, NA, Smart Recovery, or other addiction support groups can provide you with extra support and recovery and help you stay committed to sobriety. Wow. Being connected to someone is very important. Like I said, I know we are human beings, so therefore we are sociable people.
That's right.
It's very important, especially men. I just want to hop on the men because a lot of times we have this macho thing that we don't want to, let another man see our vulnerability, and so therefore we're afraid to reach out and share some things. And so it's very, especially in recovery,
You need people.
we definitely gonna need some support.
Yeah.
Somebody to, if you're having a bad day or a bad thought about using some alcohol or drugs, reach out to someone. And we are recovery coaches. We're no bigger and better than you are. And so if you feel that you need, call us or contact us. The number scroll across the screen.
That's right.
Please feel free to reach out to us as soon as possible.
Because social is important because it fosters close relationships and make an effort to connect with at least one person you're close to every day. Reach out to somebody every day. Build your own group. You can get your own support network by building it yourself. If you feel like you don't like to be around certain people, build the people around that you like to be around. Start with one person, and then y'all might get another person, and you're going to need other people in your recovery walk. The person that says that they don't need anybody is crying out for somebody. So let's go.
I like that.
Spiritual is the search for personal meaning and purpose. A healthy spiritual life can help you feel more connected to yourself, others, and the world around you. If you want to develop a sense of spirituality, it's important to take part in relative activities that allow you to understand and practice your values and beliefs. Attend a place of worship, go for a walk, practice yoga, try meditation, whichever feels right for you. Taking the time to perform these activities on a regular basis can improve your overall wellness, increase your sense of purpose, and allow you to better understand your recovery goals in a larger context. While incorporating these 8 dimensions of wellness may improve your day-to-day life, it's important to remember that they are not a fix for external difficulties. Wellness is not the absence of illness or stress. It's having the mental and physical fortitude to cope with these challenges. Regardless of your life circumstances, you can always strive for wellness. And somebody want to read that last part? Or what?
I'll read it.
Okay.
Wellness is particularly important for those in recovery from substance use disorders. If you or someone you know is currently struggling with addiction, several of these dimensions of wellness are likely being neglected. You don't have to stay silent and deal with the weight of these conditions on your own. Help is available and it's closer than you think. Reach out to Capital Recovery Center today to learn more about evidence-based.
Oh, she's a veteran. She's officially Ting. Hey, listen. So for the next couple of weeks, we're going to try to. I'm gonna look for. Hopefully, I can find stuff dealing with each of the wellness dimensions.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
Yeah. So that way, I'm gonna keep this as something we can do. Yeah, as a guideline. But next week or the next time, we're gonna look for something dealing with emotional, and we just add on to that because this is something that you might have to deal with or go into over and over and over again. So I think we're going to stick here for a while and deal with these 8 dimensions of wellness. Again, tune in next Tuesday at 10 a.m. for our coffee and conversation. And next Tuesday, we will be finishing up with the How to Stay Sober tips.
Who was this article by?
This article was by the recoveryvillage.com. The link is in the description so you can get the content that we are using so you can use it on your own. Thank you, guys.